What's up? Hey, hello, everyone. Wow, so today we are back going to be talking about Survivor, season 48, episode 10. We hit the double digits and we are in the home stretch now. So, my name is Rachel.
I'm Alyssa, and episode 10 sure was an episode. I feel like a lot of people were not super big fans of this episode, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about why that might be. So, sure was an episode, though.
It was an episode, and I feel like starting off strong or poor. The caption for the episode, I feel like spoiled it. It had in the caption, it said, at Tribal, it's a toss-up when two players on the bottom begin to target each other. And this is, you can see it on your TV. You can see it in the caption when I'm watching the episode live. It shows you like that on there. So you're like, okay, Joe is not going home. Like, this is all like a lie at the start of the episode. He's going to win immunity, obviously, because they wouldn't put that in the caption if the two bottom players weren't fighting.
Yeah, and I also feel like one of the things that made it kind of is Star's screen time in the beginning of this episode. She's been basically purple this whole season,
Hmm.
and then suddenly we're getting her rapping. Like, we know what's happening here. So I feel like like you said, there wasn't really a lot of uh, tenseness, tension. That's the word. There wasn't a lot of tension. I feel like it was kind of obvious what was going to happen here.
Literally, they wanted to hype it up all before the immunity challenge when, okay, her screen time upticks, like you said, and then the caption says that. You're like, okay, now we're just dragging this out for no point.
Yeah, I feel like this whole episode kind of felt like it was being dragged out. Like it didn't really show us anything fun or interesting. We were just told things and showed things, and you know what happened happened.
Literally. So we start off the episode with Mary and Eva talking. Eva says, I picked my people I want to work with. Mary's not a part of it. She's just going to be a number for us, which is like a little bit confused by. It's like, okay, last week Mary was in the six, and now, okay, she's not in the four anymore, but she's also not in the new six because they're inviting Mitch and Camilla into the four to make it a new six. So I'm like, "Oh, they just kicked her out."
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for Mary just because it seems like this whole time, like she said, David was her closest ally and David was her connection to the strong whatever number you wanted to use. And so I felt bad for her. And like you said, she kind of was replaced. But I don't know. This conversation between Mary and Eva, I feel like was very controversial. Seeing people's different reactions to it. Some people were like, Eva's a bully, and some people were like, Mary needs to just like do something. So yeah.
I'm like, "How can you be the Honor Integrity Alliance, then you kick someone out of the alliance and replace them?"
I mean, to be fair, I feel like Eva and maybe Joe never really agreed for Mary to be a part of the alliance. David kind of just was like, Mary's in with us now. So I guess kicking David out of the alliance by voting him out definitely wasn't the honor integrity move, but I could see an argument made for like why Eva's like, I didn't choose to work with you, Mary. David kind of forced it on me. We're not friends now that David is gone. So
I agree. I think that's like the mental hoops you jump through to justify kicking her out of the alliance. Like we talked about last week of, okay, I really need people to ask this question when they get voted out in the exit interviews of how kicking David out is honor integrity alliance, or if they make it to final tribal council, I really need the jury to ask this question. Like how are you connecting the dots in your brain for this?
yeah, so like we said last week, I feel like it could be pretty easy to make that jump if you really wanted to, but I hope that someone asks them explicitly.
Yeah, me too. I hope someone asks them explicitly and then they call BS on the hoops that you jumped through.
That would be ideal, but I'm not sure it's going to happen, so I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah, maybe postseason, because Jeff probably won't allow a follow-up question if it's final tribal.
Yeah. I think it also depends on who ends up winning, where maybe these questions were asked by someone at some point, but they don't want to make the winners look bad. So
True.
that's a possibility.
I feel like Joe's stock maybe could be going down. I feel like he got some more negative content this week, even though he still gets a lot of positive content talking about his kids every time he wins an immunity challenge. But to me, I feel like the scene where Joe is talking with the other four people in his alliance, and he's sort of smack talking Star, explaining, like, oh, when my friends from home see the show, they're going to understand, like, this woman is a crazy person. I hate her so much. Like, just saying he could never like get along with her ever. And that's sort of just bothered me. It like just felt unnecessary to like make it real life personal and explaining how your friends and family won't like her too.
Yeah, that did feel kind of like, but then you also, I feel like because Joe is playing a lot of like you could say quote a real life game, like he's bonding like with Eva over her real life. He bonded with Kyle over his real life. Bringing in Joe's real life when talking about why he's voting someone out might also make sense when he's talking about his real life for why he's keeping people in.
Yeah, it's just interesting because Eva later in the episode says like, "Oh, I hate Star also, like she's so annoying." And we hear like Shaheen say, "Yeah, she's annoying. I want to vote her out." But it's like, okay, maybe like it's from us as viewers, we just don't see it. But like from us as viewers, it seems like the fans really, really like Star, and it is different if you're living with that person. But it just is hard to be like, oh, you want to root for someone when they're openly like smack talking someone else.
Yeah, I do think that the fact that we've seen very little of Star kind of makes it easier for us to like her because everything that we've seen about her is positive, but like you said, it's very different having to live with someone versus like seeing like I think she gets like 30 seconds of screen time tops every episode. And 30 seconds of someone versus 30 minutes of someone versus 30 hours of someone,
Big
very different.
difference. Yeah, to me, it just feels sort of sucky, like they're being rude to her behind her back when Star did give Eva a hidden immunity idol. And it's like, okay, you don't have to be friends with someone because of that. You don't have to work with someone because of that. But it just seems like very ungrateful that someone gave you this thing in the game. You take it, and then you're like crapping on them later.
Yeah. I do think that some people are forgetting the fact that Star did originally target Eva, and so it's not like Eva's hatred is totally ill founded. But I do think that, yeah, we talked when Star gave Eva the idol about, like, oh, if Star gets voted out by Eva, that's going to feel bad. And I think it does feel bad.
Yeah, same situation we said if like Camilla got the idol for Kyle, if Kyle then went and then used the idol to get Camilla out, we'd be like, that's like a really low, crappy thing and like just sort of mean to do. It like feels bad. So it feels bad to see Star here, like, okay, you gave these people such an advantage in the game. They don't like you, they don't want to work with you, and they're openly like bad mouthing you on a TV show for all of your friends and family to see.
Yeah.
So sort of sucks, but Camilla wants to vote Joe out. Kyle doesn't really want to be a part of it. I do feel like it's smart for Kyle not to be on the plan and like flip to the bottom four to try to vote Joe out, but he will let Camilla try to do her thing and try to get Joe out with him not involved. And I think him not being involved is smart on his part.
Yeah, I do think it's one of those things where the whole Kyle Camilla thing, I'm waiting for them to like do something about it because Camilla's whole thing of like, I'm not going to be involved. It's like, come on, come on.
I feel like they're sort of running out of time because, okay, it didn't happen this week. Next week, it's four versus three, technically. Kyle probably won't flip again. So then four versus two. And then it what is three versus three? At one point or another, Kyle technically should flip to try to vote like Joe or Eva or Shaheen out. Or maybe he is fine with going to the final four with the strong four alliance.
Yeah, that's one of the things about the like Kyle Camilla alliance where if you're Camilla, like you need to either like you need to get Kyle to like commit because he seems kind of wishy-washy about it, about like wanting to vote out someone from the four, and it's like okay, but if we're strong too, like when are you going to be okay voting out one of your strong people? Because it's not going to be able to work if it's the four and then Camilla. Camilla's going to get Camilla's gonna get ousted next. Like that's just straight up what's gonna happen. So
At a certain point, yeah, there's like no more numbers left. And it seems like Kyle is trying to have his cake and eat it too. He says he doesn't want to try to vote Joe out because he doesn't want to flip because he's hurt the people on the jury by flipping on them. He's afraid he won't get any votes if he made it to final tribal council. Which I think that is good, like, the people on the jury probably might be mad at you, but they're maybe mad at certain other people more than Kyle, I feel like, at the current moment. But I feel like Kyle not being involved in a Joe blindside gives Camilla a ton of brownie points. That gives her a lot of resume points. If she makes it to final tribal council, that Camilla's stock probably rises a lot, and people on the jury are probably seeing Kyle as just another Joe follower.
yeah, but I also am like I'm not really sure if that's gonna end up happening.
And the next 2 weeks, so otherwise, yeah, it's not happening. And even in the next 2 weeks, that's a little bit wishy-washy of happening, which we'll get to.
Yeah. Lord Almighty.
But I do think it is smart for Kyle because Kyle, if he flipped on Joe, Joe probably hates you and never votes for you at the end of the game and actively turns people against you. So I feel like, which when we talk about Mitch, it's like, okay, Mitch is playing for sixth place. Kyle is basically playing for fourth place then.
Yeah. It seems like not a lot of people are playing to win right now.
Yeah, the people on the top of the alliance, they've got so much power and they're going to steamroll their way to the end unless someone tries to flip it up here.
Yeah. And they're really running out of time.
Exactly. So we get to the reward challenge. It is the wiggle worm challenge, but now they have a little mouthpiece on the ball, so you don't just have to like nudge your head on the ball and bonk the ball around. I was like, huh, I wonder why they gave him a mouthpiece now.
Maybe because they wanted it to go faster. Because that seems to be the reason they've been changing all of the other um, challenges.
Yeah, less time. And this is only for fried chicken and waffles and not even Applebee's.
My favorite sit down restaurant.
It was interesting. Jeff started chanting like chicken and waffles, and then Shaheen and Star jump in. I liked Shaheen and Star jumping in and making the little jingle. That was pretty catchy. But Jeff just sang chant with me. I was like, huh, this is weird.
Yeah, it was very weird. Jeff's whole thing has been weird when he like is talking about rewards. Like I feel like for the past couple of seasons, he's been really hamming up rewards that aren't that great.
I guess fried chicken and waffles, I feel like it'd be decent because of the fried chicken, and then you get some sweets with the waffles. I feel like whatever they had maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago with just the sandwiches, that one was not that good.
Yeah, no, but the chanting was weird.
So Kyle wins the Wiggle Worm challenge here. He picks Eva first, and then he picks Camilla second, and then he picks Shaheen third, where Shaheen and Eva, they went on the last week's reward challenge, so they just got fed. I feel like nowadays you really don't want to win reward challenges because people are just going to be hurt. Mitch is hurt, and Joe is hurt by this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you don't want to be the one who wins. You want to be the one who everyone picks to come with you or to come with them. Just because the fact that Kyle managed to piss off two of the people who he's working with in one fell swoop. That was kind of iconic.
Yeah, I feel like his picks were sort of fine though. It's like, okay, I think you do have to pick Camilla in there because if you don't, then similar to Mitch, but like Camilla and Kyle are actually close. It's like she'd be like, huh, this is a little bit weird. You're faking it a little bit too hard to be with the cool kids group and you don't bring me along. Then think picking Eva and Shaheen is good too because that's the strong four alliance and you want to get into their good graces.
Yeah. So, and I feel like Camilla, if Kyle had not picked her, there would have been some serious soul searching about whether or not they were like, actually each other's number ones.
Yeah, feels like a low-key toxic relationship where Kyle could just say, "Yeah, I'm trying to keep you like my secret girlfriend, da da da. That's why I didn't bring you on the reward." Whereas Camilla's like, "No, I want to have a relationship that's out there and open for people." Or it's like, "You don't need to keep me so secret that you can't even bring me on this reward." And then it's just like, "Oh, the male's point of view always wins."
Yep.
But yeah, Mitch is hurt. We haven't really seen any of Mitch and Kyle's relationship, so that sort of came out of left field. Joe being hurt by it when Joe didn't even pick Kyle last week was sort of like, okay, you can't be hurt by this.
Yeah, I feel like the whole like Kyle and Joe thing is weird because they seem to now like each other a lot because of one conversation. And I'm like, you guys must really be like running on very few calories if that one conversation makes you both like, I can't vote Joe out, and Kyle betrayed me by not taking me on board.
Yeah, so damned if you do, damned if you don't. And just if you want to go on the reward, you have to win, but then you get people pissed off at you like this.
Yeah,
But I do think it is smart. You don't want to just have like Camilla, Mitch, Star, Mary left back at camp. Like one out of the strong person four alliance should be left back at camp to babysit. And that's what Joe says. So he's like, okay, I'm not letting the negativity, anxiety, paranoia talk and say he didn't pick me because he didn't like me. It's strategic. He left me here because I get to babysit everyone else, which I do think it is smart. You should leave one of the four in the alliance back so the other four people on the bottom can't link up.
yeah. Like Joe said, babysitting.
Exactly. So during the babysitting, we have a conversation between Joe and Mary. For me, this was another just like awkward conversation. It's sort of like off-putting to me. Joe is basically telling Mary, like, David getting voted out is actually your fault. Like, you were manipulating him. Everyone thinks that you were the brains behind the operation and you made him do XYZ things.
Yeah, I again, I don't know why they keep showing us people having these horrible conversations with Mary, unless it's to make us think that maybe Mary is going to get voted off.
Or maybe the potential winner of this season. I was like, this is a sort of awkward conversation. Mary in confessional says she knows that Joe's trying to jury manage her here. Mary just sat there and nodded. I was like, good for you. I think I'd be really annoyed listening to someone tell me that I was the reason my best alliance member got voted out. Like, who do you think you are? But she took it like a champ.
Yeah, she really did. I feel like I want to see the Mary cut of Survivor 48. Just like, what is Mary thinking this whole time?
Yeah, like very good straight face, just nodding, like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize. I'm so sorry. If Say were there, we would have all the facial reactions.
Yes.
So it is interesting though, because it's like, okay, is Mary the cause of these things? Like we're hearing it from other people's point of view, or is it like the other people causing these things? But maybe it is Mary being paranoid. Like Mary was almost the third person voted out of her original tribe. So maybe there is something there.
Yeah. I don't know though.
It's the editing. So Just confused how all of these people after the wiggle worm challenge could just sit there with sand on their face and basically in their eyeballs and have all of these conversations. I'm like, you didn't go wash your face in the ocean before having these serious talks? I'd be so annoyed because you could just feel the sand on your eyeball.
I mean, I guess that they are around so much sand that it doesn't really matter anymore. Like, imagine if you're living on a beach, sand kind of stops existing to you.
Maybe that'd be good though, because I was like, they had those close-up shots of their face with like the sand is like stuck, I guess, via sweat right next to your eye or like next to your mouth. I'd be like, oh, please get it off.
Yeah, but maybe they would rather sit together and have awkward conversations.
Yeah, I'd be like, this sand is making it hard to blink.
Yeah.
So we get to the immunity challenge. You have to smell immunity on the wobbly table. The rice negotiation happened and did not happen very quickly. Jeff says 3 people need to sit out for rice. Nobody wants to. And I'm like, duh, this is a good play. Nobody should be sitting out here.
Yeah, it was really weird because I feel like they had someone speak for everyone, and no one even was like, well, maybe we like Mitch said, there's only 7 days until the end of the game at this point. You don't like one bowl of rice for 7 days is not really going to matter that much. Like, just wait and eat the finale pizza.
It's literally like what we've said at these rice negotiations. Okay, this could be $1 million rice bowl. And it's like if you got voted out tonight or in 2 days from now, you don't even need 7-day bag worth of rice. And it's like, okay, maybe you look at the challenge. It's not a challenge that you're going to win, so then maybe you sit out. But I think it would just be so hard to be like, I sat out, even if I thought I had a 0 chance winning the game, but like you sat out and now you got voted out.
Yeah. I did think that the whole like you throw twists at the players and so we're gonna throw twists back at you, that was kinda lame. Like that's not the players throwing a twist back at Jeff. It's literally just them playing the game.
Playing smart. There's 8 people left. It'd be way too risky to, sit out on this challenge. So, yeah, I think it's good that nobody volunteered. I do wonder, was the negotiation longer and people were considering it or trying to haggle with Jeff and he wasn't having it? Or was it literally like, yeah, everyone came and their minds made up, I'm not sitting out?
Yeah. I mean, I guess a lot of them are fans of the show, so they probably knew it was coming up.
Yeah. So I thought this challenge was really boring. It was way too long the first time around, and then watching it the second time, I was like, I skipped it until the end.
I actually almost fell asleep watching the challenge.
The
So
first time or the second time?
the first time.
Yeah, I was like, there's no intrigue because you know people are going to fall, and then continuously people kept falling. So it's like, okay, it's not even like you get your hopes up and then it's dashed, and then you get your hopes up again and then it's dashed, and then you're like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore because I know it's a trick.
Yeah. It felt very repetitive and I was kind of like, can we just fast forward to who gets immunity, please?
Yeah, I thought the only good part was the slow motion at the end of the challenge where Joe is about to win and like the bees, the flies or whatever were like flying around his face and then it slow-mos and then when his foot hits the stand, then it comes out of slow-mo. I liked that editing, but the rest of it, I was like, this is so boring and there's no suspense here.
Honestly, by the time we got to the slow mo part, I was like, I'm done. Can we just fast mo this so that this can be over?
So Joe wins his third individual immunity challenge. Woohoo for him. After the challenge, we go back to camp, and you know it's bad when someone tells you straight up to your face, you should play your shot in the dark. And this person is someone that you need to make a 4-4 plan with, and they're telling you, play your shot in the dark. Then your plan is cooked.
Yeah. I'm not sure how Star didn't see that she was cooked, but she sure didn't.
feel like Mitch's reasoning in that he doesn't trust Mary or Star, so he doesn't want to jump to the foursome to make a move here on like a Shaheen because Joe won immunity. It's like, okay, it makes sense, it's valid, but I feel like it is now or never. You're basically playing for fifth or sixth place after Mary and Star get voted out here, and then it's down to the strong four plus Camilla and Mitch. It's like you have to make a move sooner, otherwise you're just playing for a higher place value that isn't first, second, or third.
Yeah, but like maybe if someone really doesn't think that they can win for a second or third, that like extra money from being sixth or from being fifth rather than sixth is worthwhile to you. I don't know.
I was like, that's probably like $2,000. It's like you want to be top three, then you get like 30, 100, and then a million.
Yeah, but some people realistically can't make it to top three. So
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if Mitch does want to flip or try to make a move. He's got to realize he's at the bottom of Joe's alliance, right?
you would think, but maybe not. I don't
Because
know.
if it is truly I can't work with Star, I can't work with Mary. Star, okay, you vote one person out. I think you just got to get over it and try to work with Mary. Otherwise, everyone's on a sinking ship here.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of what a lot of people are thinking. Like, this is a sinking ship and no one realizes it, so it doesn't, like, the game is guaranteed to go to one of the strong four. So I think a lot
And
of people have already written off this season.
it'll be, yeah, if nothing changes in the next 2 weeks, then it probably is done for. And I guess in the next 2 weeks, then the next week after, just the finales is over if nothing happens next week. And for Mitch here, okay, if Mitch isn't on the plan, the other four obviously aren't going to be on the plan because it's going to be 5-3. It doesn't make sense to then go with the Joe plan or the new Shaheen plan or the new plan as a foursome on the bottom because one person isn't even with you. So, like, by Mitch not going with them, it sort of then makes Mary and Star have to target each other if they want to save themselves. Like, there's no good answer, just a person on the bottom getting voted out.
Yeah. I guess you just have to hope you're not the person on the bottom.
Yeah, and so for Star, people didn't like her more. For Mary, a little bit less dangerous because she doesn't have her shot in the dark. And then Star gets that rap, and I was like, okay, she is done for. You're not getting this rap unless you're getting voted out here, which I thought was a pretty good song. I wish we got more of her songs throughout the season.
Yeah, Star should have been rapping this whole season. Like I said, I want I want the Mary cut of this episode or of this season, and I want the Star cut of this season where Star raps the whole thing.
Star should have just rapped every single confessional. Maybe that's why she didn't get more screen time, because maybe they were all raps.
You know, if she had rapped every single one of her confessionals, I would love her even more.
Holding back by tribal council too.
Yeah.
So tribal council, they invite the jury members in. David looks so pissed off.
Yeah. I was kind of expecting that because he got voted out blindsided. So,
And this is when we need the Ponderosa videos because it would be so spicy. Like David sitting over there looking very much like handsome Squidward and like the smolder stare, squinty eye look. And I was like, why is he staring so intensely? Unless he's so pissed off, he's like so intense right now.
right? So, it was kind of funny though.
It was. It kept on cutting to David. I was like, we need someone to do a meme of like him and then handsome Squidward next to each other because they look the exact same here.
I mean, you could do it. You have Photoshop.
But I do not have Reddit anymore, so then there's no one to see.
Yeah, that is kind of sad.
So, Star, she said someone told me to play my shot in the dark this afternoon, and she said respectfully to Mitch, but he didn't stutter while saying that. And I was like, oh, that's sort of funny.
Yeah, I thought that was the funniest like line that Star had. She had some bangers.
Yeah, and, like the one-liners are really good. The confessional, the rap, I was like, this is saucy.
It really was saucy.
So Kyle, he forgot the question at tribal council while he was answering it to Jeff. I feel like it's probably not strategy and it's just like sleep deprivation and not eating. But I feel like from other people in their exit interviews for just other seasons, they would talk about, okay, yeah, to play down your threat level, to act a little bit dumber than you are, to maybe show that you're maybe not that good of a public speaker. Doing this kind of stuff at tribal council looks really good because it just lowers your intelligence, lowers your threat level. So I feel like if this were strategy, that'd be very big brain, like, oh, I forgot the question. Sorry.
Yeah. But I agree with you that I don't think it was strategy.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel like it's happened like twice to Kyle now at Tribal. So it's just really forgetful.
Yeah. Or he's really feeling the effects of the no sleep, no food.
Yeah. But I do wonder why Star didn't play her shot in the dark. Maybe she mentions it in exit interviews, but I haven't had the chance to watch yet. Considering it came up so much at tribal council and people literally told her to play the shot in the dark.
I mean, maybe she was hoping that the 4-4 would still work out. And if she plays her shot, then she doesn't have a vote, and then there's no way for the 4-4 to work.
But she did vote Mary.
Yeah, maybe she knew at that point that Mary was the other possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, yes. Maybe she was not confident that she would be the person voted out and she thought Mary would, so don't waste the shot in the dark. I wonder we gotta listen to the exit interviews if people asked if Star regrets giving her idol away now.
Yeah, I'm sure that she does.
But then, I mean, people telling you to play the shot in the dark and then you don't. Maybe you wouldn't have played the idol here, but also maybe Star is like the shot in the dark is a 1 in 6 chance. I'd rather vote.
Yeah, I would rather vote too, but maybe Star just doesn't think she's lucky enough.
I feel like Star would have a lot of luck. With a name like Star, you gotta like be manifesting it.
Yeah.
So I think it's up to Mitch in the next week. Will Mitch flip or will Mitch not? Can Mitch go and do Camilla marry Mitch? But then it's still Camilla marry Mitch versus Joe, Eva, Shaheen, and Kyle. But then Mitch doesn't trust Mary. Kyle doesn't want to vote Joe. Maybe Kyle would flip and they could vote Shaheen out. But also, Eva's safe next time because the safety without power advantage ends at final seven. So she could just use it next week. And Joe basically has less competition now, I feel like, for these immunity challenges since David's gone. It's like Joe, Kyle, maybe Shaheen, maybe Eva sometimes for these challenges, but Joe could maybe just win a lot of stuff moving forward now.
Yeah, I feel like Joe doesn't really have a lot of competition if they keep doing the same kind of challenges. Maybe if it's a puzzle challenge. I've heard people say that the best thing that Eva can do with her safety without power is give it to Mitch. Mitch will leave because he wants to stay safe, and then the strong four can just vote out whoever they want of the two that are left.
Yeah, it is a little risky if Eva did use it on herself, because then it's 3-3 if someone does flip, like if Mitch does flip. But I feel like they've got everyone so locked down that maybe you don't even have to be worried about that, because like Mitch maybe wouldn't do anything.
Yeah. Also wonder if maybe Camilla and Kyle are going to make their move. But I feel like I've been saying that for a while now.
I feel like their partnership duo relationship has got to come to a head sometime because they've been like touting this whole, oh, we have a secret relationship. We're in the best position in the game. But then if nothing comes to it and just Camilla gets voted out, it seems sort of lame.
Yeah, it does seem kind of lame, but who knows? Maybe it's to make us feel bad for Camilla.
Yeah, she's being strung along with the guy that took the idol from her.
Mhm.
Uh, man, I hope it does work out because then, like, we were talking about making the analogy to like the secret relationship, and she's like the secret girlfriend. It's very much giving like, yeah, I don't know. It's like the guy wants to do these things and she doesn't, but then it's the guy's way.
Yeah. I really am hoping that there is some shakeup so that we're not just seeing a straight pagonging, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, next week, guess we'll see. Hopefully, the caption doesn't spoil it going into the episode this time and say, two people on the bottom are fighting for their life. Then we know she
Or
doesn't care.
something like the majority alliance turns on each other or whatever.
Yeah, it's a big tribal council because the majority flips.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next week, I think will be a game-changing week potentially, or it's coming down to the wire of when people can try to make a move on this majority alliance. Hopefully, they are seeing it and realizing that they've got to make a move soon, otherwise the numbers are dwindling. So maybe something can happen. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think that immunity challenge was very boring? Do you think that people's actions in this episode were smart or not so smart for gameplay? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time.